Well, you see the airbags came off, so I was wondering, did the seat belts get locked up? Yeah, they got locked up. Bought this yesterday for $700, and the main damage is up front. The airbags went off up here, driver and passenger airbag. She either slid or something and hit something in the back as well. The reason I bought this, not to rebuild it, I'm not going to rebuild this thing. I'm probably going to part most of it out and keep this motor. You heard in the video, I mean, it runs, it's not knocking or anything. Probably was overheated, the uprev cable, and it said there was some kind of code that could either be a bad thermostat, which, I mean, the coolant gauge is not working at all in there, or it could have been overheated. The reason I'm worried about that is because I just don't want to deal with warped heads. I'm gonna have to get them resurfaced anyways, but right now I'm just gonna start tearing apart this thing. Probably the interior, I'm probably gonna clean it up just a little bit. They left a lot of junk in here, and it's pretty nasty. A little easier. As you can see, all of the suspension parts and everything, they left all that in there, a bunch of junk. This thing's trashed. It's got the Bose audio. Didn't even see that. It's got the standard brakes. I was hoping they were Brimbos. I couldn't tell from the picture. It came with an extra wheel. That's about it. Interior is pretty trashed, but I'll see what I can do with cleaning it up. I'm sure some of these parts are still good. I don't know what's in that. Yeah. So I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse, and what I'm planning on doing today is just cleaning it all up, and then I'm gonna have to pull this motor. So disconnect the radiator support and everything in front. And what I'm going to try to do is hook up the engine and just pull the engine and transmission together. All that I got that was salvageable from the passenger side. So I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse and we'll clean out this trunk and see what I can find. So this is as good as I'm gonna get it. I'm not trying to make this thing spotless. Show you the back. Surprisingly, the seat still works, except it's completely destroyed at the bottom. It's not supposed to do that. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how those rails are working, but they do not sound very good though. But I made a little bit more money. How much is this? 30 cents right here. But still not enough to cover the $700, unfortunately. Now that I got this thing decently cleaned up, now we can start working on taking this radiator support off. And probably, I don't know, we're gonna have to drain this coolant too. It's not looking very promising right there. Because if there wasn't coolant in this thing, who knows? It probably was overheated. Things come along pretty smoothly. Got the radiator off and the AC condenser. Not really sure how to disconnect this. I don't want to have any whatever kind of gases in this to kind of blow everywhere. I know it's not good. I'm just gonna leave that kind of how it is until I figure out how to disconnect that. Let's see, I'm gonna pull off the power steering, drain that, and just basically get this thing ready to just get it all cleaned up to where it's easier to pull it. Probably take the hood off, engine cover. I'll probably take the battery out and just take some stuff off on the engine. That way we're ready to pull it whenever. And take the harness off. I gotta take the harness off too. So let's get to it. Now got the power steering hose off, the hood off, and some miscellaneous bolts and nuts that were connected to the things. At this point I've got the key in and I got it in neutral, that way I can just push it because I don't really feel like starting it without any coolant at all in it. Clean everything up, push the car back by hand, and that's probably going to be it for today, and I'll get back with you guys tomorrow. Day here working on the G. Got it all jacked up. Take the cats off and the drive shaft. I'm gonna have to disconnect that from the back. And let's see what else. Probably all these sensors. They could probably stay on here as long as we get the rest of the wiring harness off. Engine mounts are right there. There's the bolt for them. We got to loosen those. And obviously the transmission mount as well. Coupe tire evolution. Let's go on this side. We got a Michelin on this tire. We got a Continental Pro Contact. Those isn't too bad. Let's go over here. And we got a Black Hawk. Never heard of that. But we got 4 different tires on every single wheel. And even the spare tire they gave me, it's a Goodyear. So I don't know what's going on there. This dog came over here, don't know whose he is. Kind of came over here to help me work, but got the whole exhaust off. That was a pain in the ass. A lot of the bolts were kind of seized on there from the rust. And this little W brace, this thing is probably the hardest to get off. It's always bent and always rusted. I even had to pull out the grinder, as you see, grind this down so I could, get the bolt off. And then over here, this was folded in. Hey. Anyways, it's a mess to get off. Got the drive shaft off as well. That was actually pretty simple. There's 2 bolts right here. Then there's 4 that bolt to the differential. And then over here, it just slides off. This is the same thing with the manual. I don't know if the manual and the automatic have the same drive shaft, but it's very similar to this. If you have a G35 or 350Z, hey, stop. I don't know why they cut this off. This is the emergency brake. But anyways, if you have a G35 or 350Z, you're gonna watch for these arms right here. I cannot remember what they're called, but they're usually pretty rusted. Mine were just rusted completely through. They weren't even doing anything. Stop. Back. But yep, so that's pretty much it. Next thing, I'm gonna try to take off the cats if I can. You had to get a long extension to go through the engine bay. Man, that's usually a pain in the ass. Let's see if I can get a view on it. Right there. There's the bottom one. And then top one. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see. Yeah, top one down there. But anyways, you got to get like a 24-foot extension. And it just slides down here. I'm going to have to take the intake off on this side. Really the only way I'm going to be able to pull the engine out with the transmission in it. Otherwise, it's going to hit the side of the frame. I still need to disconnect the automatic shifter. That's pretty simple. And then the brace for the transmission. Wait to take those out before I get the whole wiring harness and everything off.
Perfect.
camera died in that last clip, so I'm just going to update you guys. Pretty much got everything from coolant lines, ground wires, the whole harness is off. I just went ahead and disconnected the ECU, and then there's it's this right here that is connected to automatic transmission module, I believe. There's these connectors that go down here. I got all the cables and all the coolant lines kind of zip tied out of the way so that it's easy to pull this out without anything getting snagged. I didn't show you guys all the money that we found, but I'll have to count all this up. I'll put it up on the screen, how much this is. And also, I mentioned that I bought this car for $700. I was originally planning on just parting it out and pulling the engine, keeping it and building it for my car over there. It has about 190,000 miles, and this has about 150,000. But it doesn't matter because we're going to completely rebuild this with upgraded parts. The U-Haul, the trailer, was I think $56, something around that. Then for gas, it was about 60 something dollars. So that's all I spent on this whole entire trip getting this car. No other tools have been purchased yet. These are all tools that I have in my kit. Well, I actually have no idea what I'm going to be able to make on this thing. But I know there are a lot of salvageable parts. You just got to find them. This is probably going to be it for this video. I'm sure it's probably way too long right now. This is going to be a series. It'll probably be about 4 or 5 videos. And I'll just kind of update you guys on the things that I sell on this. Subscribe if you want to see more, like, and that's about it. Peace.